All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Another episode of the Always Chillin' Podcast. Skinny D and the Sandman in the barbershop once again. Damon brought another guest this week. Been doing our guests a lot more often, which is pretty cool. I'm down for that. Just introduce yourself for me real quick, man. Talk about how you know Damon a little bit, and then we're going to start talking about Bigfoot.
What's up, man? My name is Justin Luth. Thanks for having me on the show. Appreciate it, fellas.
Thanks for coming.
Appreciate that. I've known Damon for years, done a lot of remodeling at his shops, and he's helped me out with coaching and just through mutual friends and haircuts and all those kind of things. I'm pretty sure I was the first person to get my haircut here in this shop.
Yeah,
I
think,
moved
yeah,
in.
you were.
Oh,
you were.
that's
You were.
cool.
You were.
I'm pretty sure that I was.
Yeah.
I saw that on my memories. pop
Still
up.
painting. We were still painting the walls. I was hopping off the brush, man. Hopping to the clippers, man.
Right on. So you guys are coaching football together now? Is that
Coaching football.
you're coaching football too, right?
basketball.
It's a pleasure to help him.
Right.
Thanks, man.
Yes. It's a pleasure, man.
Pleasure to have you on there. He helped me coach my son's basketball team this fall, and that's
Nice.
how it started. I'm not a basketball dude. My son got signed up late for it, and they couldn't find a coach for the team, so I just volunteered. I've done youth coaching, so I was like, I'll do it. But then I had to reach out to my friends.
Right on. Yeah.
Who knows basketball that can come help out? And I needed the help.
That's the
We
best
did
way
all
to do
right.
it, man.
We did all right. We had a great bunch of dudes, man. Great bunch of dudes.
That's for sure.
Yeah, that sounded fun. So the kids you're coaching now, like what age? Is it like an age range? Did you do like a certain grade?
5th, 6th, and 7th graders. We're the D
Nice.
team that we're coaching, and it's the D level here, and it's a good group of kids. They just changed the rules, so everybody in the league can only have one A, one B, and one C team. So some of the older kids that normally wouldn't be that on those levels got pushed down
Oh, cool.
just from the pure numbers. So we've got some good kids on the squad, that's for sure.
Yeah, it blew my mind when they said we had just 78 7th graders alone.
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm like, wow. I mean, it's like COVID's over now. Parents are, football's back.
Sure.
Football's back.
Yeah.
Without all the hoopla. I think I was like, football's back. It's
Yeah,
back.
I'm getting pretty excited about. I wore my jersey today.
I see that,
Getting
man.
Pretty excited.
You looking real festive.
Been playing Madden.
Looking real
Been reading a
festive.
lot of news. Been drinking the Kool-Aid pretty bad.
Who's your pro team?
I don't really have one.
Okay.
The Bengals, like kind of like when I was a kid, and it was time to figure it out. I like Tigers. And I'm like, Bengals are cool.
They've
And I
always
kind of
had a nice little Nebraska pipeline. They've always
Yeah.
had a Husker or two.
Yeah,
Throughout-
when I
throughout
factored in that they suck too, I was like, someday they'll be good, and then I'll be able to say I've been a
You
Bengals.
live to see it.
I've been a Bengals fan for years, but I don't really care.
I'm a Cowboys fan.
Yeah,
we know.
it's gotta be tough, man.
Me, if I'm in NFL, man, I'm going with my Broncos, man.
Yeah.
I've always had a little romance with the Broncos, but if it ain't the Huskers, man, I ain't watching it.
That's what makes the NFL kind of fun for me. Is I don't really care. I'm
Don't
just
really
watching
care.
football,
Right.
and like if something's exciting, it's exciting either way. Like
do you
if,
do fantasy?
I did at a job I had before, just because they did a fantasy league and they needed people, but I didn't take it seriously at all.
Yeah.
Like
That makes it fun, and
yeah,
NFL Red Zone makes it fun too. Watching
Yeah.
that on a Sunday.
yeah, you can get that for like $12 a month or something on its own now.
I've never played fantasy ever in
Think
my
about
life.
doing that. Really?
I always
It's like,
wanted to.
I don't know.
I just
It's
never
fun.
have.
It's just it's too much work for me, man.
It's a lot of work. That's what I was
Yeah,
about
to
to
be
say.
good
Like,
at
it seems
it.
like a lot of work. Like you got to draft your dudes, and like if
Yeah,
this
well, I
motherfucker
was-
hurt, like you fucked up.
Yeah, I always did the auto draft. Like I didn't.
And you'll never keep the same squad from front to back. Somebody's
Right.
getting hurt, somebody's getting traded, somebody's getting cut or
Mhm.
benched.
Right.
So you got to pay attention every week. Otherwise, you're just gonna fall behind because somebody's going to
Like
be.
fuck, I feel like I'm coaching shit. When I sit and watch people do that shit, like man, that takes up a lot of time.
So when you're coaching kids that young, are you drawing up plays and schemes and stuff for them?
We have
Are they-
a scheme that we kind of use for our program, and it's more of a blocking scheme offensively.
Sure.
So we have an inside run, an outside run, and then you kind of have to cater to the level of players that you have,
Mhm.
exactly what you want to do. On the rookie and D levels, the fields are smaller, so you can't do as much kind of spread offense type of stuff. But you can do some.
Yeah,
You
probably
just got
not.
to go about it a little bit differently.
Probably
but
not so
yeah,
much throwing the ball.
I got a playbook right here.
Pull out the playbook.
Probably a lot of running.
Oh man,
We got the playbook
we got
right here.
Ezekiel 420 Apparel calling me right now.
Oh really?
Shout out to Ezekiel 420 Apparel.
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
hit
what's
you
up,
in a
man?
minute, bro.
I was on a walk with my guy. He sent us that shirt that's like I love Buddha or whatever with the alien. Like I wear that shit a lot.
Well, I got the one with the Arabic.
Yeah.
descriptions on
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I'm kind of scared to wear that.
Yeah.
motherfucker
So
now.
I wear that alien one a lot. I was on a walk with my grandma. She's like, "Do you love Buddha?" And I was like, she's talking about the dude.
Okay, the real dude.
Yeah. And
All
I'm like, yeah, grandma, sure. Yeah. Like, yeah, dude, I love him. And she's like, "Oh, how long have you been looking at Buddhism?" And look at her like,
Grandma was hip to the Buddhism, man. She was ready to have a
Yeah.
conversation.
yeah. But she doesn't know that Buddha means weed,
Yeah.
apparently. That part was lost on her.
Yeah.
My little alien, he has a joint in his mouth and everything. My little alien T-shirt. She was like, "Wow, religious."
Hey, religion's all right.
Like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, religion's all right.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, so let's talk about Bigfoot, man. You said you had a story about Bigfoot. I'm gonna let you know I am persuadable but skeptical about Bigfoot as a concept.
Agnostic.
I think we would have found him. Yeah, pretty agnostic about it. Yeah, I think we would have. I think there would have been a body or something by now.
I don't have proof,
Right.
but I also cannot disprove that it wasn't Bigfoot.
Yeah. See, that's where I'm at on a lot of stuff.
So the story plays out. We were just talking about fishing earlier, and we were at one of my dad's favorite places to fish at. Rest in peace, Pops. Rest in peace, Pops.
Rest in peace.
But we were at a lake called Timber Point.
This is in Nebraska.
Timber Point out by Brainerd and Loma. We got family from out there. It's in the Bohemian Alps. That's what it's called out there. Like their landscape is called the Bohemian Alps. I don't know. That's what it's called. We were fishing. It was probably about 2 or 3 in the morning. And I needed some firewood. So me, one of my buddies, I don't want to say his name because I don't, you know what I'm saying. I don't know if he wants to be on there as record under this one. But my son was there and my dad was there, and we were all catfishing, had our stuff out, and it was about 2 in the morning, and I needed to get some more firewood. So I walked around going to the backwaters, and my buddy went with me, and my son went with me, but they were a little too sketchy to go deep back there at night. You know what I mean? Trying
Yeah,
to
well,
find
hell
something.
yeah.
So the landscape, you know, it's a lake, and then there's a backwaters area with a bunch of trees around it, like just a lot of trees and big hills. I'm walking back there. I'm trying to find some firewood, and all of a sudden I hear a rustling from up in the trees, and something came running at me from out of the trees. I had my K-bar on my hip, pulled it out. I didn't know what exactly it was. I was thinking maybe it was a deer or something, but it wasn't galloping. There wasn't 4 legs. It was big enough that it was breaking tree limbs, and it went right into the water and disappeared.
Dang.
It didn't. I was backpedaling. I had the K-bar out. My buddy was like, "What the fuck is that?" My son was already gone. He was running full speed.
Okay, so everybody saw this.
Yeah, they saw this, and
Okay.
he took off. He took off running. This just disappeared into the water. No splashing, no swimming above the water. Because we're thinking, is it a cow, a horse? It could have been a person, I suppose, but that would have obviously been an awfully big person because I could feel the da-dum, 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 breaking tree limbs and then just disappearing into the water.
Dang.
And my buddy, he'll verify it. You know what I'm saying? Like he would tell you all about it.
That's when you that was one of our things. When you get 1 or 2 or more people saying this thing, you get
that's
like,
when
I'm
it's
like,
just-
okay.
Oh, I mean, if it had you sketched out enough to actually pull a knife on it too.
I didn't know what it was, and
Yeah.
I can't say that was Bigfoot. I didn't get a glance at it like that. I was
But it was
I was
something-
dipping out, but I
something
also
weird.
can't say it wasn't for
Right.
sure. I just don't know what.
Hair on it,
Here's-
skin, fur.
Nothing. I was
It was just
dipping.
that.
I was dipping. Had the knife out. I was ready. I didn't know
Yeah.
what the fuck was going on.
Did you
'cause
smell anything? Sometimes people say Bigfoot
Yeah, they
stinks.
smell it.
Here, I did not. Now here's the crazy part about it. A week later, in the Lincoln Journal-Star, I read an article, and I got this on my phone. Read an article in the Lincoln Journal-Star about a dude 3 miles from there that almost ran over a Bigfoot and pulled his
Oh.
hair off of a corn stalk
That's interesting.
in the
That
Lincoln
is interesting.
Journal-Star.
I think I remember that.
3 miles away,
And we're talking how many hours from Lincoln West?
about 30 miles. It's over by like the David City area.
Oh, so it's not even that far.
It's
Not
not even
that
that
far.
far. It's not that far.
Damn.
And the dude.
And how long ago?
Like at least 10 years ago.
So there was
over 10.
less. There was less people and structures out there 10 years
Mhm.
ago than there is now.
I'm sure.
Sure.
I'm sure. So it would be
Ooh.
the kind of place that you would think you'd see Bigfoot at if there was a Bigfoot running around Nebraska.
Right.
It could have also been some weird tweaker just in the bushes that might have ran up on him and just I don't know for sure, but
I've
It-
ran up on a couple of mobile homes in the middle of fucking
that's-
nowhere before. Like, what are you doing?
That's
out here?
interesting, man.
That is.
That's got all the
interesting.
elements that we were talking about a couple weeks ago of like what's gonna. I don't remember if that was on the show that the audio got lost, but
I think it was
all the criteria for what makes something a believable shit. Because sometimes people have stories and they're like, it was 3 a.m. and I was half asleep in my tent and I heard something and I know it was Bigfoot. And I'm like, yeah, it probably
you
wasn't
can see-
Bigfoot.
Yeah, you don't know what could have been some tweakers
this-
out there.
Yeah,
This
that's
was-
it's like multiple people. The newspaper thing, that's really that
Multiple people.
The newspaper corroborating at least that other people
Another- yeah.
other people think
Other
there's
people.
a Bigfoot in the same area. That's pretty good, man.
And we're talking about Nebraska.
Right.
and there's always the element there could be a prankster, but it was an elaborate prank, and those
Yeah.
tree
Okay,
limbs-
Well,
okay.
and for
Who's
like-
out here in the dark waiting?
Right.
We
At
don't
2
even
in the
know you're
morning.
coming. We don't know
Yeah.
y'all coming.
And I mean, for like no reason, they didn't get anything out of it.
You know what I mean? They didn't
like
get
you
shit
didn't
out
go to
of
the
it.
paper. They didn't even like.
and then to disappear in the water like that.
disappear. There was no splashing, no
Yeah, I've never
Just-
heard anything like that.
right into the water, gone.
See, that's pretty crazy. Something that would be big enough to be snapping trees and stuff,
Hey.
but also like silently go into the water.
Little,
That's kind of
little-
scary.
Little Tuck from the football team, he wants to go on a Bigfoot hunting mission. All the boys, his dad, he's like, I want to
Shit.
go Bigfoot hunting.
That's a good one, man.
Hey
That would be
man,
fun.
yeah.
That's some weird stuff to happen to you.
I mean,
gonna lie.
again, we talk about Nebraska.
Yeah.
I've been watching these videos like about the Southwest and Western, mainly Utah. You know, and in so many words, they said, you turn down the wrong fucking road in Utah and catch a flat, run out of gas, ain't nobody coming. Like, there's still parts of Utah, they say, that are untouched by man. I'm like, well, what about Nebraska?
Yeah.
I mean, most of our people are what in northeast, southeast part of our
Mhm.
state, man. We got places out west, man, and we don't know what the fuck's running around
Yep.
out there.
That's
Yep.
true. And if it was like a horse or a cow or something, that thing be making noise like a motherfucker in the water.
yeah.
The
A
water
cow,
part of it.
Yeah, a cow's not disappearing.
Yeah,
in
the
the water.
horse ain't running to the water like that.
It could have
voluntary.
been something like that, running through the trees and breaking tree
Sure.
limbs, but not disappearing
Yeah,
into
the
the water.
water
No
thing
town, no
is a
nothing
total-
near.
I mean,
Maybe 4 or 5 miles away,
Okay, see that's
3 to 4 miles
that's
away.
too
maybe.
much for a prank.
I mean, even if it was a prankster to disappear in the water, like if I'm wearing a weird like Bigfoot costume, I'm drowning in the like you go underwater, it's
And when we backed up, I stood there for a little bit, like,
yeah.
what the fuck's that? I was ready to. I was gonna shank Bigfoot. I didn't. That was. And it was weird because that was the first thing that popped into my head. It wasn't like it took me till later to be like, you know what? I think that might have been Bigfoot. Like the second I heard something running, I was like, is fucking Bigfoot coming out of these damn trees at me? Like that was the first thing that popped into my head.
Did you like did you feel weird before it happened? Was your hair standing up on the
a
back of
little
your
bit,
neck
but
or
I
anything?
mean, I didn't know if that was
Just
just
'cause it was
me
creepy?
in the middle of the night.
Right.
Because I usually got a headlamp, like a little cat eyes, little headlamp, so I
Right.
got light. This night I'm just going by the moon, using the moonlight, trying
Oh,
to just find
shit.
some firewood back
Yeah.
there. And
That just damn. Yeah, that's too much for a prank.
it was
Yeah.
intense.
That
That's
is
for sure.
intense.
My son wanted to leave.
Okay, that
Well,
was what I
yeah.
was
Son
What
was
y'all
like-
do after?
Yeah, does that ruin the night?
I went back and got back
Wow.
to drinking some whiskey, and I've been back to fish there a few times. Like,
I'm out of here. The daytime or the nighttime? What
Night.
was the environment?
it was 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah, you say that's the best time for you, huh?
Yeah,
Man,
that's when
fuck.
you catfish. You go out there late, you set up. My pops would always say, we're not catching a fish until I take a nap. So he would be taking a nap in the truck. So me and my buddy, we were walking around out there. My son was tagging along. He's probably 9, 10, something like that. Yeah, the second he heard it, he was gone, like running across the little parking area to where we were camping at.
How many Bigfoot sightings has there ever been in Nebraska?
I don't know. That's a good question. But there's like a whole website, dude. There's a dude at work that has like asked me about Bigfoot, like
About
all over his
Nebraska?
car.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, let's
Damn.
see. Nebraska.
I'll send you that article so that you can kind of, I don't know what your video feed stuff to be able to put something on there, but I'll
Oh yeah,
send
there's
you
a museum, even a Bigfoot museum.
In Nebraska?
Yeah.
Really?
Huh.
Where?
Uh,
We might have the road trip.
Hastings.
No shit.
Huh.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Hastings, huh? Why Hastings?
I don't know. This is
Got
the
Bigfoot in
Bigfoot
Hastings?
Crossroads of American Museum
Have I seen that?
and Research.
Don't they got,
I don't know.
they got like
Let's
a
see.
statue on the interstate or
Let's see.
some shit?
They
I
have
feel like
a-
I've seen that,
let's see
man.
what this is.
Don't ask me
kinda-
why I was in Hastings.
What kind of stuff they got here? I'm gonna go to their website. Oh, it don't even look like they have a website. They got a phone number.
Call them motherfuckers tomorrow.
Let's call 'em. Self-proclaimed Bigfoot lady of Hastings has built an empire. This thing says.
You would think the hair sample the guy took off the corn stalk in the article would have led to something to corroborate or deny what it was. You know, like, dude, that's deer for
Right.
something. You know,
Yeah.
but you know, Lincoln Journal Star's not gonna print that part of it, or it got sunk
nah.
somewhere, or
Nah.
who's gonna do the research.
Who's gonna do the research? Somebody gonna have to go out there and find him.
Oh, in November 2017, Nebraska State Patrol responded to somebody called 911. Like, yo, I see
2017.
Bigfoot outside of North Platte.
I bet if you Googled it with Lincoln Journal Star, Bigfoot, and type in Bellwood, or no,
That wasn't that long ago.
Let's see.
Butler County. If you type in Butler County,
Buzz quiet.
Damn.
Oh, I bet this is it. 2014.
probably.
Bigfoot buzz quiets, but question lingers. it
That's
says.
exactly it, right there.
Let's see. Let's see.
And what happened with me, it was weird. It was like 3 to 4 days. It was like the weekend
From you
before
to the other
before
guy.
that article.
So
before.
it was in that area. Being
Yeah.
territorial, probably like get the fuck up out of my shit.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Bear would have mauled you.
Bear
We
would have
we
mauled
gotta
me.
count. Mountain lion probably would have got you.
Probably would
Gotta
got
count
me.
that out.
This is pretty funny.
At least Bigfoot, dog.
All right, so 2017, an hour before sunrise, along a dark gravel road next to the
Set
Platte
it up.
River,
Set it up. Set it up.
a 15-year-old boy at the wheel on his way to driver's ed class with his dad. And depending on who they ask, his
People.
right, two people. The kid says his dad was sleeping, and the dad's like, I wasn't sleeping. I was looking at my phone. So he's probably sleeping. The boy said, 15-year-old, said that a big hairy creature, probably 7 feet tall on two legs, ran in front of the vehicle and disappeared into the trees. Yeah, they didn't want to call the sheriff because they were like, they're going to call the sheriff about Bigfoot. But then they went back to the spot later with a friend, and they claimed they found a hair sample on a broken off corn plant. And then a conservation officer, Nebraska Game. So they called Nebraska Game and Parks,
Probably their mistake.
who came out.
So they got that shit. They got that fucking hair. For
They got
sure.
that hair.
Yeah,
They got the hair.
State guy says he doesn't know anything about Bigfoot or Sasquatches.
They probably send it off to whatever the JFK files are at.
Right.
Things that we don't get to know about.
And they ain't gonna know about. We know for sure y'all got the shit.
Here we go. They did get him tested.
Oh shit.
We're pretty much moving on. It just says,
Damn. Damn.
oh, no one ever brought the hair to law enforcement. They just gave it to, they gave it to some like Bigfoot place, and they're like, we'll test this, and then just nothing ever happened. But they never gave it to law enforcement. Law enforcement was like, we'll do it like today, like right now, let's do it.
Right now. Right. We
But
got
they
the
gave it
shit.
to some Bigfoot people or something,
Ah.
and now they're like,
Like I said,
we're moving on.
they-
Because like they had an open investigation, like a Bigfoot thing, and then they were like,
Fuck it.
we're closing this one.
That was their mistake
is a
calling
cold-
the game
this is a
warden.
cold
They
case.
probably shouldn't have called him. He wasn't on the right side of that.
I see. Think it's a
And I never brought my information to the table at the same time.
yeah, but
Because I
yeah,
had
them being close. that
3
really-
miles apart. Because you see the map on there.
Yeah.
I was at Timber Point Lake. I don't know if it shows it exactly on that map, but over by Brainerd, it says. Does it say Brainerd on there?
No,
somewhere?
it just has Lincoln and Linwood.
Is there a map?
Yeah, but the map just has Lincoln and
Linwood. Okay.
Linwood on
Yeah,
it. I can
Linwood's
look up
real
the-
close
I'll pull
too.
up the Google map.
I'm sitting here thinking, man, I'm counting everything out. Like I said, bear would have got you. Mountain lion would have got you. There's nothing
Are there
else
even
after
bears
that.
here? Do we have
There
bears?
used to be. I read an old article about Lincoln years ago where they used to have to send their kids to school with weapons and shit because of the animals.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it either had to be bear or mountain
Shit.
lion. So I'm thinking maybe bear. I mean, there was a place up. I can't remember the name of it. Maybe you heard of it. It's called Bear Country up there, like right on the border of Nebraska. Like they probably barely now, but they used to come to like what was that Cherry County, Valentine, and up there and shit.
Yep.
Go hunt. They would drop their babies off and shit, and people could come up there and take pictures of the bear cubs, but you had to be the fuck up out of there before mama came back home. Yeah, they called it Bear Country or something. I don't know if it's still up there, but yeah.
Shit.
So I imagine they would probably have been down this far at one time.
All right, so that's Bigfoot. Let's go down the list. Were you ghosts? You ever had like a ghost thing happen?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it? Is it okay to talk about?
Sure.
You don't have to talk about anything you don't want to.
Out in
Right.
goddamn country in the dark.
Ghost is one of those things. Like Bigfoot, I'm like, yeah, whatever. Maybe there's Bigfoot. Maybe there's ghosts. I would like to. Like, I would almost like something to happen to me.
This was a demon, not a ghost.
Oh, even yeah.
This was
Okay.
bad.
Okay.
Speak on
So I was dating a girl, staying with her at her place. She was always watching those American Horror Story movies and TV shows and all that kind of stuff. Just really like into that shit.
opening the gates for it.
Opening the doors.
Opening
Dancing
the
with
gates
the
for it.
devil.
Right.
And I was there alone by myself one night. I had a little basement section set up for myself to watch TV. And so it was in a basement. You go down the steps. There's a little hallway area where you can go to the bathroom or like the laundry room. And then you hang a left and you go into the little TV room area. So I'm sitting on the couch with my back to the hallway light. And I've got the TV in front of me and I got the light off in my room. And all of a sudden, I'm just sitting there watching TV. All of a sudden, all my hairs stand up, and like my body starts going numb.
I'm getting goosebumps already.
And I see, like, imagine if this light's turned off right here, and I got the light behind me, and I'm looking this way, and I see shadows like something's going in front of that light behind me, and like my body just went completely numb. I got a story about my dad too, but so anyway, I sit there and chill for a minute. I start, devil, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Devil, over and over and over. It went away. I had all my stuff out of there within 15 minutes. I was not sticking around at that place anymore. She was at work I was out.
You saw the shadow people.
Damn.
I was out. I don't know what that was. I don't know what, but it was something, and it was. My dad woke up from a nightmare one time and couldn't move. He said he was sleeping in bed and he couldn't talk and he couldn't move. Something was holding him down.
That's the worst one. It's the worst one.
Scary, man.
That's the worst.
The shadow people thing is
they're real, man.
Those are pretty scary too.
I've had them visit me on occasion.
Yeah.
Where I broke the fuck down. You know, I might have been high, but I wasn't that fucking high.
Yeah, no, there ain't no.
It had nothing to do with that.
No.
I was in a position doing some shit I should never, and I never did that shit again ever. And that was them warning me, you better get the fuck up away from here doing this shit. And I never did again.
So I try to protect my peace from who's around me.
All day.
I'm not trying to get the energy from the wrong people.
I think I posted it the other day, and I'm no genius. I'm more witty than I am a genius sometimes. What'd I say? Anxiety is just your body telling you to get the fuck away from these motherfuckers.
Natural defense system.
Yeah, I mean that's that. Let's just call it what it is. Anxiety. If my stomach hurts and shit, when you come around, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You got bad energy, bro.
Something.
And,
it's all like
I gotta remove myself from your presence. You ain't gotta go nowhere, but I gotta remove myself. You making me have to take a shit just from being around me.
Yeah, I've never had anything like that happen at all. Like not even like borderline, like weird, like
What about-
almost ghostly.
I've had one, and another one with another girl that I was dating. We were fishing, and there was a fire. I think I got the picture on my other phone. On iPhone, when you take a picture, you can do the live picture, so you can see the stuff in the background.
Right.
And when I was sitting there hanging out with her, I got that same feeling where my hair started standing up and just felt like something was around. And I started taking a picture, and then later when I looked at it, it looked like there was like a demon coming out of the fire, like the wisps of the fire.
Weird, man.
It was some weird stuff, and that girl dance with the devil too. If
I
that says
would-
anything about the girls.
I would say one of my other experiences with that would be, and I know they said he was coming down off heroin, but I had got caught on a parole violation, and they'll send you back to D&E, and you know these fucking doors. You know what I mean? You can imagine what a fucking jail cell door is, but I'm directly across from this dude. I'll never forget his name. They called him Ricky T. He was an old pimp from Omaha. He's probably dead by now, so I can probably say his name. But not only the fact that he was coming off heroin, man, I saw probably the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. You know, he was probably about 240, but I thought this dude was gonna get through his door, then peel mine off and fucking rip me apart, man. This dude's face what I saw come out of his face, to this day, I'm like, I still don't believe what I saw to this
Possessed
day.
by
And this
something.
was 20 something years ago, man.
Weird.
And then, you know, we get through intake, and you know, and we both end up on the same yard, you know, and I'm looking at this dude like he don't remember a fucking thing. He couldn't tell me sorry, you know what I mean? Nothing. He didn't remember that shit. And I never ever looked at that dude the same ever after that.
Yeah.
What I saw come out of that dude like came out of his face, not his nose, just like out of his face.
Non-human emotion.
Non-human emotion, man. Like this, I thought this, like I'm dead. If the guards don't come back here and knock this dude out, electrocute him or whatever, he's gonna get out of that door, rip mine off, and fucking rip me. My skin's crawling thinking about it right now, and he's gonna rip me apart like a fucking gorilla.
Weird.
That was probably one of my worst experiences with a demon. I would say that was definitely a demon.
Yeah, like the weirdest thing that happened to me when I was in the Marine Corps, I used to drive from California to here. You know, it's like a 23-hour drive. but
You're
I
a
was
bad
like-
motherfucker.
Well, I was like, I was 20, so I was just one shot in it. Just like, it was no big deal. Now I bet I could drive like 6 hours before
It'd be done.
we gotta stop. So the weirdest thing that happened was one time I was driving back, and I was getting pretty close to base, but I still thought I was a couple hours away or whatever. Because there's a lot of like just driving on the same road through the middle of the desert.
Like Flintstones and shit.
Yeah,
Same
where it's
shit,
just
same
like
shit.
there's like literally you can't even see anything. There's like no trees, no nothing. It's it's dark out, and if there's no moon or whatever, there's just nothing.
Just nothing.
Yeah, there's no street lights or anything. But so I still had a ways to go, I thought, but I drove through like a mist, which is weird because it's not usually misty.
Not out there.
Yeah. So that was kind of weird, but I drove through this mist, and then like I got back to base like 45 minutes faster than I expected to. So it wasn't like I lost time, it was like I got time back. Like I was sitting there like, oh, I still got a couple hours, but it was like way, and I wasn't like, I would have had been going like 150 to get there. So, you know, it's not like that weird. It's just like kind of a little weird.
I don't know if I talked to you about this.
Yeah. Like,
Where I was driving one day and I ended up I'm like, how the fuck did I get here?
yeah. Well, sometimes you ever driving and like your brain just goes into autopilot.
Is that what it is?
And then,
yeah.
like,
Once a day.
yeah. And then and then you realize you're like 3 miles down the
I'm like,
road.
how the fuck did I get
And you're
out
like,
here,
and
man?
you're like, damn, dude, I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember any of that. Like,
Okay.
sometimes I freak out. Like, did I stop at that
Did I
stop
stop?
sign?
Did I?
I don't even know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I think that's I think I probably just zoned out while I was
Zoned out.
driving, and
I don't know.
and
Driving.
maybe it wasn't actually that weird, but it's like, yeah, I don't know. I had done that drive a few times at that point, so I knew like exactly what to expect or whatever. And it felt like kind of a chunk of it I didn't do, which I could have just been zoning out or like sleep. Like I fell asleep while I was doing that
Well, there's
drive
portals everywhere, bro.
a lot.
I believe that.
And there's
There's portals.
what's that
everywhere.
called when you stand barefoot on the earth chakra?
Yeah.
There's zones in different areas that have different energies and stuff
Yeah.
like that. That I mean, with everything that's happened in the last few years, if somebody told me there's a place in the desert where you were driving that you hit that and time just disappears for 45 minutes or something, I'd be like,
Yeah.
well, all right, well, I guess that's what we're doing now.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's like it's not even that weird. It's just a little bit. It was just a little like, oh, that's cool. Like, and I'm like, I get to go to sleep earlier than I did.
Well, I'm
Like,
here. Fuck it.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know how that happened, but I'm here, so
Driving through a mist.
cool.
That you drove.
Yeah, and like the mist wasn't weird. It was just weird that there would be mist,
Yeah.
and it was just like this little patch of it, and like I got more time back than I expected.
reverse
instead of like
reverse deja vu.
right
What
instead
is
of like
that?
getting abducted by aliens and people are like, I don't know where I spent the last 5 hours. It's like, oh, I got. It was like I jumped a time zone that didn't.
In that part of the country. It's a busy part of the country for that shit. Bigfoot too.
Mhm.
The southwest part of the country is busy for aliens and Bigfoot. And what if these motherfuckers are related?
And chupacabra.
aliens and
What if they
Bigfoot.
cousins?
Nah.
You don't think?
No, I think if there is a Bigfoot, it would be some weird like species of animal.
Okay, what would he be a derivative of? What would he be? Neanderthal, human,
Yeah,
bear,
I think
be like-
Neanderthal.
it'd be like the
Neanderthal.
missing link, you know?
one of the missing links
Right.
of evolution. If you want to call it that.
Mm-hmm.
What would he be?
What if they live underground?
Ooh, because there was
Yeah.
a race of people.
Mm-hmm.
You got the sky people, ground people. I sound like the fucking movie now. But yeah, basically, what if they did come from underground? I can't remember what tribe it is. I don't want to say the name and get it wrong, but they came from the ground. They say they came from the ground.
I mean, that's kind of right? Like,
It makes a whole lot of sense.
it's not like the first thing that was alive was in
It
the
was just
sky
here. You know,
or like
they had to
flying
come,
through the air or something.
or yeah, from up
Yeah.
or down.
Was that like the primordial ooze or whatever
Right,
that life came out of?
right. Had to come
Maybe
from
like the Ninja Turtles.
Some base chromosome bacteria in the
Yeah.
water or something
Yeah, it's-
evolved
I
over.
mean, yeah, it came out of the ground. Like, yeah. I think ground's like the only
But-
option.
they've had evidence of it making tools and shit.
What?
Bigfoot,
I don't know.
I mean, I've seen.
like using branches as tools and shit. Because I mean,
saw.
if that's the case,
I saw
this-
like a hamster or a
Yeah.
raccoon using something as a tool the other day on a
Yeah.
YouTube video.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm sure
Yeah, chimps
Bigfoot
and,
would.
chimps and stuff.
fucking
use tools
raccoons
like
freak me
crazy.
out, man. They got fucking hands like that.
Yeah.
Man. You see them fucking things, man.
I think a lot of
Fucking-
animals would do that if they had the hands to do it.
Yeah,
I saw a dog the other day pick his leash up and walk himself.
yeah. And like dolphins and stuff are supposed to be smarter than we are.
Well, I read an article. I forgot to send it to you. You guys know it's illegal for humans to communicate with dolphins outside of like
What?
amusement parks and shit.
What?
Yeah, because if we learn how to communicate with these motherfuckers, I'm gonna put it in my words. If we learn how to communicate with these motherfuckers, and dolphins, they travel like in pods like thousands of miles and shit.
Yeah.
So they was like, what if they know where Atlantis is,
I've
and we ask them, hey, where's Atlantis, and we go find it and fucking ruin it.
I've seen videos of back in the Cold War. I think Russia was training dolphins or some
Right,
kind of
right.
sea animal
To plant bombs or
Yeah,
some
they
shit.
strap bombs to them and send them in,
Mm.
train them to do that kind of shit.
I think our Navy uses them as like bomb dogs, kind of.
To
but in
sniff
the
'em
wa- in
out.
the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they still do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So well,
I
that's
think
the
I think
military.
Russia has dolphins that like patrol and like if there's a boat in the water, the dolphins will,
Rat
like,
on you and
make a
shit.
That's
noise.
crazy.
Yeah.
Damn.
Fish do learn.
You
Even
shooting a dolphin?
Yeah.
the fish at Branched Oak Lake act different than any other fish because it's catch and release for flatheads. So if you pull in a big flathead out there, flathead catfish, 50, 60 pounds, he's been caught 5, 10 times and
No
put
shit.
back. They put some trackers in him.
He's like, whatever.
And they just like whatever. It's just routine. I get eat. You gotta unhook them. They don't fight that hard.
So they know I'm going back in.
Yeah, I've caught 10 pounders that are way more aggressive and more of a fight than some of the 50 pounders that I've pulled. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, because it's probably easier if they just let it happen.
yeah, they just let it happen. Like, all right, this is happening again. So they just
That's crazy as shit.
kind of learn.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's what we said. Motherfuckers think animals are stupid.
Yeah.
Mm.
But them motherfuckers know shit.
Well, like killer whales, they have names. Like they know they have names. Like a killer whale will make a noise that they have never heard another killer whale make before, and they only make it at a specific other whale. Like they give each other names and stuff.
The
like
way
that.
they hunt. I mean, the way they
Yeah.
calculate shit.
It's
Like,
brutal. There's a new Planet Earth on Netflix.
oh,
Yeah, we watched that
oh
shit.
shit.
It's
I
good,
gotta
man.
watch that shit.
Killer
Those are my
whales.
favorite things.
Yeah, killer whales
watch
are
that.
brutal,
Watching that
dude.
kind of stuff.
I gotta watch that shit.
Used to
Yeah.
love watching lions
Yeah,
attack stuff in the jungle.
there's
That's
there's some good stuff on
that pack mentality. That's what I was teaching the kids, our defense. Hunt like lions.
Yeah, they getting it, man. They getting it. I think they're tired of hitting each other though.
Yes.
I think they're ready to hit somebody else.
they're ready to hit somebody else. That's for sure.
And that's just being a bunch of little alpha males, man. Just ready to hit something, man.
They ever get in fights?
Oh yeah.
They're out there swinging on each
Oh,
other.
yeah.
We got a couple of twins
Got a
that
couple
almost
twins.
went at it. We had a couple offensive linemen, and Lions started pushing, and it hasn't got that far. We've done a good job coaching them,
Yeah.
and we haven't had to discipline anybody this year at
That's
all.
good.
Like usually, they're always sending somebody to the hill like once a day,
Yeah.
just maybe 10 times a day on some of the real bad teams. I've been on some teams where just behavior problems, but this year we haven't had to do it. So I think the kids just kind of they wanted to see what their limit was, and they got frustrated with hitting each other. So just all one day, things went kind of a little bit haywire. We had to-
It's like the spirit just jumped from one to the other to the
Yeah.
other to the other. I was like, damn.
Well, you want them
man.
to be like a little aggressive though.
oh yeah,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We're what we're doing with those kids. I mean, for lack of a better word, is like when you pick up those little pit bulls and kind of shake them a little bit, and then they start going at like we're taking these little 5th, 6th graders and shaking them a little bit and getting them wound up because they got to go to battle together. People can get hurt, and if you're passive and just sitting back and not motivated to play, somebody else will be.
And being just the age that they are, I remember being that age. Like, yeah, I know I can do it, but should I? You know what I mean? They're still in that. Like you're not in school, dude. You're at practice right now with
Yeah.
these pads and this helmet on. So whatever happened in school, man, let that out here.
For
So
sure.
it,
It's the coolest thing whenever they find themselves on the football field.
exactly, but they're also at the age where they want to impress, and you pat them on the helmet just that one time. They're like, oh yeah, okay, I got this shit. I can go ahead and cut it loose.
Positive reinforcement.
Right.
The mentality to be excited and motivated to make a play as opposed to scared to make a mistake.
Exactly.
You don't want them tiptoeing around and
Exactly.
scared. And
I think
just-
we're over that.
yeah,
I think we're over that.
I think so too.
I think we're over that. Teaching them to forget. You drop the ball, man. That's over. Line it up. It's over. That's over. Don't worry about that. Just knowing the game, you gotta up your game level a little more.
I think a lot of we did pretty good player development and kind of seeing the talent that we had to work with and put the kids on good positions. So we haven't had a whole lot of switching people around.
Right.
Because that is demoralizing to a kid when you start them. Okay, you're going to be a running back. You're going to be a running back, and then all of a sudden, like, all right, dude, you're the left guard now. You don't get the ball. We had one kid, the fastest kid on our team. He weighs 1 pound over the limit because you can only be 125 pounds and carry the ball.
Oh.
So he weighed in at 126. He's got a week to lose a couple pounds if he wants to be a running back. Otherwise, you're on the line, buddy.
Damn.
Fast too,
Tough
man.
out there.
Dude's fast, man. Dude's
Runs
real
like
fast.
Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Run, Forrest, run. He's never
Yeah,
played football
Never
before,
played
so he
football.
just he fumbles like all the time. He don't really even know what he's doing yet, but he is fast. He's out. If he gets in space, if we find a way to design that offense and
It's 6.
get him the ball and he holds onto it, no one's gonna
It's
touch him.
6.
He's just
Dang.
It's 6, and his running style, like he's a natural runner.
Yeah.
And seeing these kids, they don't know that.
Mhm.
So I'm like, man, the kid's a natural runner. He's like, what does that mean? Like, dude, you're already in position when you take off. When you take your first step, he like he gets in that position. So you just reinforcing them, letting them know. The twins, man, that's what he's. They scrapping him. And I said, man, you look just like him, and he just kind of stopped, like. Damn, I do. It was like hey, you walk up and somebody pound on your brother, man. You gonna let him pound on your brother? And he's just kind of like,
oh, they had each other's back the next day.
You
They
know
were
what
all
I'm
standing
saying? I'm
Next to
like,
each other.
yeah.
And he's like, come on, man, come on. It was you
to
just gotta-
see day by day, day after day, get better.
Right.
And then you give them that little bit of advice. Go home overnight, and do this and do that, and they come back and you see that's the reward for me. But ultimately, I just want to make sure they would just want to play ball again, man. Just make
Yeah.
it fun enough for them to where they want to keep doing this again.
Yeah.
That's it.
play ball and be safe. And the most important thing is to coach up the bottom of the roster, the kids that struggle the most. For one, you need them in a game. It's a participation league, so everybody has to play.
That's what I like about it. Everybody gets clocked now.
Yes, but for two is safety purposes in practice. So my buddy's son, he's on our team. He's one of our coaches. His son last year was struggling to initiate that contact. He'd run up to somebody and he'd be kind of passive. And so his dad worked with him outside of practice, and he was fullback last year, and so he'd run up to people and just kind of patty cake pushing them. Well, one day in practice, all of a sudden I see our linebacker just go flying, and he's like, "Oh!" You just flying back, and my buddy's son just thumped him. The kid was out of practice.
Dang.
Next play, boom, just blows up the other linebacker, and like he just got it that quick. But those other kids don't understand it yet, so they're just sitting ducks out there.
Yeah.
That's why you gotta be able to teach them to defend themselves properly and
More
not
than
and not
anything.
just sit there
Right.
because somebody, whether it's our team or another team, somebody's gonna understand how to do that, especially
Somebody gonna
wrestlers.
rock you, right?
Yeah.
Especially wrestlers. Them
Yeah.
wrestlers, they get
Yeah.
it early. You can tell.
You
kids-
can see the wrestlers out there
for sure.
just by the
Yeah.
way they run, with their body ready
Tackle.
to initiate that contact.
They get low and
They
they know
real
how
low.
to shoot.
Right.
Did you play football?
No. Mm-mm.
Nah,
That's
he was
good, though.
the cool-
Sounds like-
he was the cool dude in high school.
Sound like you
man.
guys are like mentality. I think is the best thing you guys can teach them right now. You know?
Mhm.
Like
More
you're
than
not gonna make
anything.
their footwork elite,
No,
to,
no.
while they're playing this, but you can teach them how.
I want to make him a dog.
You can make them mentally
I
tough.
wanna make you a
Mentally-
dog.
Oh,
Yeah.
the stuff I talked to him about in practice. I'm quoting 300, the movie, talking about
and they don't even know where it's from.
come
They're
back a man or not at all.
Like, they're like, damn, coach knows about.
Well, at our
Coach is
coach's
smart.
parents meeting, I was, because I'm from the old school. I say shit. I talk
Mhm.
a certain way. I use certain slang. I don't know if I didn't talk. I was just gonna listen. I was like, okay. So Coach Sandman was like, to the parents, y'all gonna hear some words out here that you probably it ain't cool to hear in school anymore. You're gonna hear shoot. You're gonna hear blast. You're gonna hear pow bang. You know what I mean? You're gonna hear that type of shit out here. So I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, I'm good. So you without sugarcoating it to because they little dudes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? These little alpha males, they're gonna be out there in 2-3 years in high school. If you don't get that dog in them now, they ain't even gonna make it. They won't even have a chance. So yeah, I more than anything, I just love motivating, trying to get them
Yeah.
in position.
finding different ways to
Find
motivate
different ways
them.
to
I played some
motivate.
music one day before practice. Just different
Challenge
things.
them. I challenge them when they're in their lines. Make this one better than the last one. I need each one to be better than the last one. And they're like, what do you mean? So I had to break that down to them.
and just fundamentals. That's what we're just coaching fundamentals. Like a couple of myself and a couple of the guys on the staff, we could probably coach at a higher level, have the qualifications to do that, and teach real complicated shit. But that's not the place for it. These
It's not
kids
the
need
place for
simple.
it.
Mm-hmm.
They
Just
don't
like
need complicated.
basketball, man. I mean, we were playing against like the one female coach with the Duke. She had her Duke blazer. I don't know. I think we talked about. I was like, she was serious over there, man. She had
Serious.
their arms crossed, and we just over here freestyling.
Well, it's supposed to be fun.
It's supposed to be fun, man. And I think her son was the star of that
Yep,
team
yep.
that game too. And I'm like, man, it ain't that
Yeah.
serious, man. They don't look like you.
Right.
They won. They beat us. We played their asses, but her players weren't having fun. They were being chippy with our guys. Remember that
Yep,
game? I'm
yep.
like, she ain't teaching these dudes the right
Yeah,
kind of basketball.
Yeah.
Something people lose. Are you guys watching Hard Knocks
Uh-uh.
this
Uh-uh.
season with Aaron Rodgers?
Mm-mm.
They're
No,
doing
I'm
the.
watching
they're
I've
doing
seen
the Jet-
some. I've seen
I'm
some.
Yeah, they're
watching
doing
the
the
quarterback
Jets.
one with Mahomes' cousins,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah, they're
watching
doing
that one.
they're doing the Jets for Hard Knocks this year.
Oh shit!
Yeah, because Aaron Rodgers is there, and Aaron Rodgers he has this big thing because Zach Wilson's been there the last couple of years, and he's kind of been shit in the bed, you know.
Number 1 overall draft or number 3 overall
Yeah.
draft pick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's been shit in the bed out there. So Aaron Rodgers is in there, and he's like, all he's telling him every week, it seems like, is, hey man, look like you're having fun. He's like, what I want you to do this week is I want you to smile.
Number one.
Yeah, he's like, no matter what happens, you throw an incomplete pass. He's like, I want you to smile every single play.
Number
and
one.
just look like you're having fun out there.
Number one.
Yeah.
Elway, Cunningham, Peyton Manning. I mean, you just see the way a dude gets the rock, the body language. He's having fun.
Yeah, with like somebody like Mahomes, he's having a fucking blast.
Come on, man. I mean, shit. That's a different animal.
Yeah, he's out there playing recess. Basically.
That's a different animal. I don't count another.
Everything moves so slow for him.
I don't count another Super Bowl out for that dude here real soon.
Yeah, he's good. It's the reasons I don't like him aren't his fault at all. Like I'm just like I'm tired of hearing about him. It's not his fault.
I'm just a
He's-
hater when
he's
it
good
comes
at
to anybody other than the Cowboys. That's all. And it's fandom. If you ask me who the best quarterback in the league is, I'm gonna say Dak. But he's not. If you ask me like a real,
man, I fuck with you on that.
I wouldn't say best, but if you ask me a real football question, like okay, talk like a coach, I'm gonna say Mahomes, Burrow.
Okay, putting your fandom to the
Put
side.
my fandom to the side.
That's hard for people to do sometimes.
You know what I mean?
It is. But for me, like I said, I can like an NFL game, I rode with Cap so hard that I just fell out of it. But like even before that, it'd be hard for me to sit and watch a full NFL game without taking a nap. Now Nebraska, if it ain't Nebraska, I have a hard time watching it.
Yeah. Well, sometimes the NFL and college is about to get like this. The NFL just seems so like I hear so much stuff about like I'm not making enough money this year. I'm not making enough money this year. I don't even want to play here. And then like you've known that Aaron Rodgers hasn't liked being on the Packers for the last
Probably
4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And it's very public, and you're out there like he's just out there getting a check.
That's what's the coolest thing about the youth sports complex on Sunday mornings here in town. It's like the opposite feeling on what I said I felt at that girl's house, the negative energy. You just feel positive energy. All these kids that are just there for the love of the game.
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
That's just the love of the game.
Well, I told one of the kids like the difference between practice and a game for me, my experience. Like, not that I hated game day, but game day was only gonna last 2 to 3 hours. We practiced every day, so practice was like my shit.
Mm-hmm.
I loved going to practice. Game day, like this is gonna be over in a few. Win or lose, this is gonna be over in a few. Then we gotta wait for the weekend, and then practice to me, is really where I was able to sharpen my iron, and just the dudes that helped me sharpen my iron. I was always like, never knowing I would be in the coaching,
doing a good job with them, man.
But just remembering them dudes who they were for me, more than coaches. Sometimes I didn't have any brothers. I had all sisters. They was the big homie. Uncle one practice, dad one practice. And finding out that I got to be all three of them sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
More of a brother, more of a big brother to them, and just the way they take, just the way they take to me. You know what I mean? Seeing me, so I got to be responsive to these kids. You can't turn your back on them when they ask you a question. Especially kids today, they want to know why, when, and where more than.
When they say it takes a village, I don't think they mean the whole village. It just takes the right people at the right times.
People in the village.
The right people at the right time to, step up. If you're in that role, a teacher, coach, military type of situation.
I think you'll be a good, just because going through the military in your background, the motivational part of you, I think you'd be a decent.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I do a good job at work, dude. I'm a good boss.
Yeah, see, there it is, right there.
Come on out next year.
Yeah.
Shoot, you can do the training. You can come out this year.
Shit.
You gotta do a little 4-hour course online, and you can
That'd be
come out
fun.
this year.
You'd be
with us.
surprised by how many, even in the pro ranks, that actually never played the sport, but was able to break down the X's and O's. Like me, and I was a great athlete, man. There was shit that I would amaze myself doing out there on that court. And when it came to like coach drawing up like the X's and O's and shit, bro, I'm gonna go ahead and admit I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. I just knew where I had to be, what I had to do in that particular moment. When he all that, dog, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But remembering what I had to do, just reading and reacting more than I was an X and O guy.
Sure. Yeah, I think kids now are right to want to know, like, what their role, the overall role is, because being like, your job is to block this guy, and they're like, that's it. Like, all you got to do is block this guy, don't worry about it. But if you say, like, your job is to block this guy because when you block this guy, it lets the running back run this way, then he understands, like, oh, I need to do this.
Exactly.
Because that's how we score. He's not just like, all I care about is blocking this guy, and I don't even know why I'm doing it.
Well, we worked on our blocking hooks
the
other day, and we had to break it down. Like, why? You turn him away from that play so that running back can
right. Yeah,
don't
stuff
just
like
block
that.
him. Turn him, get him out of the play.
Like
Take him all the way out of the play.
It's got to help him take it way more seriously.
They got
when
that.
Like,
oh man.
Well, and to your point about having a role, that's extremely important.
Yeah.
We're trying to put together a depth chart where we have a starting, because we got 21 kids on the team. We're going to start 11 on offense, and then we're going to try to make our starting defense the 10 kids that don't start on offense.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
And they might not be the best on the team, but we're going to coach them up to be able to fight and just be able to hold on and participate. That's our job as coaches. But then at least everybody on the team's got a role. They could say, I'm the starting outside linebacker at least.
Right.
You might not start on offense.
That's cool.
But you got a role to start on defense.
That's motivating, man.
You're going to play, and we're going to need you.
And at that level, catching up to talent is probably a little easier than it is later on. Like, if a kid with no fundamentals at all, but a lot of talent, and a kid with really high fundamentals, I feel like at a level like that, they can even out a little bit.
There's always,
Yeah.
for the most part, yes. Until then, there's that one
Until
freak.
there's a freak, yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's
I was
just-
gonna
it's-
say, like
and
Kareem,
it's-
man. This kid's
Yeah, well, that's just how that goes, man. Freak,
yeah,
I-
the
I-
kid's
freaks
just
are
a
gonna
little
be
freak, man.
See,
He's going to be
yeah,
freak
NFL
all the way
is
through
great.
college.
The kid's 3-point stance is already elite college level, and he's what, a 6th grader?
Fifth.
Yeah, kid in the 3-point stance would scare you.
Well, yeah, see, and then, like, the ones who are freak athletes, the ones that also will understand how a 3-point stance works more quickly than everybody else, like, it's got to be like a rocket ship.
Who was the biggest freak athlete you played against in high school?
Me, Amon Green,
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mhm.
and I was more of a wing back, split out, wide out type of player. I was super fast, so those veers and reverses I got used a lot in that, and it was a particular one. I think it was I was supposed to come through the 2-hole, and a lot of people don't know this. Amon Green played linebacker in high school. Dude hit me so hard, man, my nose started running. You know, the snot bubbles,
bubbles.
like, and I
Yeah.
was just like, I remember hearing clink, clink, and the trainers and shit was standing over me. I remember saying to myself, yeah, that motherfucker coming to play linebacker.
Watching him run the
Motherfucker came to
200 at
play
state.
running back. Man, I
looked like a racehorse on
Man.
the track.
I ran against the dude. You know, I wasn't a track guy. I was just out there because, you know, the honeys was out there in them little shorts and shit, you know, and the homies type shit. I was more like a fill-in dude, and I was kind of off to the side. And I remember, maybe he remembers this, because I was staring at him so hard, like, God damn. I remember him coming out of his sweats, and his leg was just like, I was like, oh my, and he hit his hair. I said, this motherfucker got asthma, man. No fucking way, man. No fucking way. I don't know if you remember Rashawn Jackson, Tremaine, them. You remember
Yep.
the article where they were
Yep.
on the front page? You know, when you're running, you got that ugly ass run face, you know. Tremaine's face is fucked up. Rashawn's face is fucked up. And Amon Green's just. I was like, this motherfucker here. That was probably the most freakish dude I've ever competed against
I
in-
played,
in any sport.
I played against a kid in high school. His name was Aaron Galladay from York.
Oh,
He was a year older than me. The kid was
big
6'6",
motherfucker.
6'4", 245. Played point guard on the basketball team. Won state in the discus, but also ran the 110 hurdles and, placed in high jump. Played running back and tackled me 22 times in a game from the free safety spot.
Damn.
And had moves. He wasn't even a power back. He was more Barry Sanders than Christian Okoye.
Damn.
Insane athlete, just insane. And then he went to Nebraska, played
Yeah,
tight
Kane
end,
played the
ballooned
tight
up to
end,
like
right?
295. But in high school, like won the state in the discus.
I
went
wasn't hip to him.
6'6" in high jump,
Shit.
and then ran the 110 hurdles.
Yeah,
Played
see,
point guard.
dude like that, you can never do anything but
nah, you just can't. You can't. You
I
can't.
stuck his ass, made him fumble. He wasn't even that physical. He was just big and a super athlete.
Elusive, just a freak.
Just a freak athlete. I mean, great athlete, but I mean, just huge. Like the size was just
Mhm.
crazy. Imagine that at free safety. I was a junior. I weighed like probably 160, 5'10", 160. He's 6'4", 245, playing free safety or strong safety, just flying around out there. Just a huge. Tackled me 22 times in one game.
Damn. And he was from
York,
York,
Jeez.
and B class, right?
Class B. Yeah.
Class B.
Yeah.
I always, and I still think this. I think Class A and Class B should do a little inter squad, because I always like
It's
some of them.
offensive line.
At least basketball, football, I don't know, just because of the size. But I always felt like in basketball, like especially some of these small town dudes, like
Mhm.
we should be able to play them. You know, like some of the best runs that I ever got when I was really playing tough were in the small towns. I mean, I got good run in Lincoln, don't get me wrong. Great run in Omaha, but some of my best runs, man, were in BFE towns, you know what I'm saying? I always felt like why don't we play these guys?
We it's the offensive lines. My offensive line averaged about 205, 215 my senior year. Lee Daniel at Southeast had 300-pounders across the
Yeah,
front.
see, in high
You know what I
school,
mean? Like, there's no way
yeah.
we would get eaten alive trying to
Yeah.
compete against that.
Yeah.
And that's the main difference. And then they probably had like one or two stud athletes compared more than what we had.
Right. I started off at Lincoln High, and I remember it was practice. And this is kind of where I figured out, like, I'm kind of done with football because I ain't getting no bigger. I'm fast, but I ain't getting no bigger. His name was Brian Nunn. May he rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Brian Nunn? I was a kickoff return, punt return specialist. I remember catching the ball, put my shakes on him, and he slid right by me. You know, I'm probably 30, 40 yards up. I can't remember if he actually caught me or not. But I heard this motherfucker catch up to me, man. I'm like, oh, fuck this, man. And he was like 6'5", 270 in high school. I'm like, coach, I'll be over there in the gym with the air conditioning, man. I'm done with this shit, man. He was a freak. Ended up going to Nebraska.
Who was the kid? Played linebacker. He got locked up for shooting somebody, I think. I'm pretty sure he was the homeboy back in the day from here in Lincoln.
I got his face right in my head.
Pretty sure his last name starts with a B or something like that.
Yeah, and big dude. Yeah,
Big
beast.
dude.
It was a beast out. Yeah,
Like,
I
I
don't
heard
want
he
to say
was-
his name either. He
Yep,
did
yep,
some
yep.
foul shit, but I know who you're talking about.
I heard he was elite level.
Maybe this is risky, but dude should have a yellow jacket on by now. That's how this dude, like,
Yeah, and
Word
anybody who
freak.
knows who we're talking about, they'll
they
say
know
the
who.
same
Yeah,
thing.
they know. Again, another place similar. I can't remember who the dude was, but Omaha Central and Southeast. 90. I think Southeast won that chip that year. Running back shook him, slid out of bounds. This big motherfucker, and he was like 290, 300 in high school. Caught that motherfucker, man. He caught that dude. And ended up shooting a bunch of. Actually, it was a fucking crime spree that he went on for like a week. Shooting motherfuckers, car accidents, vehicular homicide. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
No idea what the fuck you
I'll
guys are
spit
talking
on you about
Yeah,
it after.
We're almost done.
Like,
so.
damn, man. Like, freak ain't the word. Was a phenom. The dude was already a phenom. I think even in midget league, this dude was getting publicity and shit.
Damn.
Yeah, and kind of
Yeah.
just went off the hinges, man, and did a bunch of crazy fucking shit.
Weird note to end on, but we're out of time. Thanks for coming today, man. That was fun.
Appreciate it.
We'll have
we
you
might have
on.
to do it
We'll have you
again.
on again.
Might
Yeah.
have to do it again.
I'm
Yeah.
down with that. Sounds like fun.
See how we do after the season.
Oh yeah, we'll have to do an end of the season update. When does the season start? You guys started it?
We got a game
First
next
game?
Sunday.
Next Sunday.
Dang.
A little heat wave is gonna pass, and then it's gonna be good weather next week. We're ready to
Yeah.
go.
We got in a lot with them though. Like I said, they
Yeah.
wanted to hit a little bit, so I think they satisfied with that.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, good luck on the season.
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it.
Thanks
Yeah,
for having me
we'll
on.
get-
I had
we'll
fun.
get an update. Yeah, that was fun. We'll keep our eyes out for Bigfoot. Next time we'll hit aliens. We didn't get to aliens today.
Amen.
Aliens is a hot topic
It's
right
a
now.
real hot topic, dog.
But anyways, thanks again for coming, man. And thank you for listening. Check us out on our social medias, mostly Instagram, Twitter a little. Are we on X? You say we're going to get an or not X, Threads.
I'm working on it.
Yeah. Maybe we'll be on Threads
I'll
eventually.
let y'all know.
Check our videos out on YouTube and Spotify. Audio is pretty much everywhere. And we'd really, really appreciate it if you tell your friends to listen to us. Leave us a review on Apple, whatever you do on your app. They're all different. But most of all, hope you guys have a good week. See ya.
Holla.